Hi, and welcome to the day 5 of Cloud Workshop on Salesforce Cloud Technology. I'm Selin Joseph from Suyati Technologies. Through this video, I would like to give you an overview on reports and dashboards with respect to the recruitment app done on Force.com platform. So, the question is, why do we need reports? Consider an organization. The hiring manager of that organization might like to get an overview of the positions that are open or waiting for an approval, or those which are closed. In case the position is closed, how many got employed? How many positions are yet to be filled? The number of job applications that comes to the organization based on a particular functional area or a region. What about the CEO? The CEO would like to get an overall picture of his organization, like how many employees does he have in his company, or how many are newly joined, or how much profit did he make this fiscal year. That's where Force.com comes to our aid with the angel called report. What does a report basically do? Report summarizes the data stored in our application. We may have many objects, and each object may contain millions and millions of records. So it would be practically difficult for a CEO or the hiring manager to dig into these details to get the overall picture. That's how report helps us to summarize the data stored in our application. It helps us to monitor and analyze data. It also gives us a bird's eye view or the overall view of the data stored in our application. Force.com offers 4 different report formats with varying functionality and complexity, and they are tabular reports, matrix reports, summary reports, and join reports. Moving on to each one of them. Tabular reports. Tabular reports are the simplest and fastest way to look at your data. It consists of simply ordered set of fields and columns with each matching record listed in a row. It can't be used to group data or create graphs or charts, but it's best to generate a mail list or find out the grand total. Towards my right, you can see an Excel sheet of purchase invoice. This is how a tabular report looks like in an Excel sheet. Corresponding to each item, there is a particular price. We can just find out the grand total or list out the number of items purchased. But we cannot group data like how many Nokia products did I buy. Moving on to summary reports. Summary reports are similar to tabular reports but allow users to group data row-wise. They are called the workhorses of reporting. That's because they are the mostly used report formats. We can also find out subtotals and create charts using summary reports. The chart on the right shows sales rep and their customers. Each sales rep has a list of customers and there is an earning listed corresponding to each sales rep based on his or her number of customers. So you can easily find out which sales rep made the highest earnings, and that is sales rep 7654 made the highest earnings. So here data is grouped based on a particular sales rep. Now moving on to matrix reports. Matrix reports allow users to group records both row-wise as well as column-wise. It's a bit time consuming but gives us the most detailed view of our data. It can be used to create graphs and also it's used in dashboards. The chart on the right is a representation of matrix format. It has a list of categories as well as customers. Category is a list of products offered by a company, and these are the customers who avail these products. From this chart we can easily find out the product with highest demand, and that is software. 16 softwares have been purchased from this company. And we can also find out which customer purchases the maximum number of products from our company, and that would be Citibank of 4 products. Thereby, it gives a 2-dimensional view of data. Now moving on to join reports. Join report creates different views of data from multiple report types. In join report, data is organized in blocks. Each block is a sub-report with its own fields, columns, sorting and filtering. Now we know summary and matrix reports can be represented on different types of charts like horizontal bar chart, vertical bar chart, pie chart, donut chart, funnel chart, and scatter chart. Now let's move on to creating a report in Recruitment app. Now let's log into our Salesforce account using our credentials, username and password. Enter your username and your password and log into Salesforce. So here I have a list of tabs or different objects. You can see each one of them are different objects. Now I'm going to add reports. You need not create report because report is a standard object. It's already provided by Force.com platform because it's used in many applications. It's widely used in different applications. Most of the applications would use reports, and without reports any application would be incomplete. So let's see how to add a standard object. So this is our home page. On home page, under build, select create. Under create, select apps, and these are a list of apps from Salesforce. Now I'm going to, this is a recruiting app which is my custom app. I'm going to edit it, and you can see when you scroll down you can see available tabs and selected tabs. Under available tabs you can see there's reports. Just add it to your selected tabs and click on save. So see, you can see reports has been added to the list of the tabs already there. So let's explore this reports tab a little bit. So click on reports. So this is the report page. Now I'm going to create a report folder to add all the reports. So click on new report folder. Now we have a new report folder. Let's give this report a name. I'm naming it as recruiting report. I'm giving the folder access as read only because I don't want anyone to manipulate my report. Now I'm going to make this folder accessible to a particular set of users. So I select roles and subordinates, and I'm going to select roles and subordinates of CEO because CEO is the highest post that I have in my organization, and I just want all his subordinates and himself to view these reports, and I click on save. So now I have created a recruiting report folder. Now let's create a new report by clicking on new report. Whenever we have to create a new report, we have to select a report type. These report types are created whenever an object or relationship between objects are created. So I want a report to find out the open positions by a particular functional area. So under other reports, I select positions and select create. So this is it. This is how a tabular format report looks like with a grand total and the list of items. Now I can add location next to it. Let's see, I have a quick find over here, so I can add location. Can search for location and drag and drop it here. You can see each position has a different location, and there's a grand total of 21 records. Now let's move on to summary reports. So select summary reports, and you can see there's a grouping field that came up. Now I can group based on particular field. Let's see what to group with. I want to group these positions based on their functional area. So in the quick find, I'm going to type functional area, and there's it, and drag and drop it to this pane. Now you can see under functional area we have positions. Functional area finance, I have accountant and CA. Under human resources I have CEO and so on. So I can group the positions based on a functional area. Let's see how we can summarize this report a bit more. So the down arrow corresponding to location, I click on it and select bucket this field. I'm going to bucket this location based on a particular region. So select type on region, and then I'm going to create new bucket for USA. I'm going to add some locations like San Francisco, Austin, Boulder, and New York to USA. Similarly, I have created 2 other buckets like UK and Asia Pacific and moved on locations. And now I click on OK. Now we can see under the fields pane there's bucket fields, and under buckets we have region. So drag and drop region in this grouping. So now you can see our report is summarized based on functional area as well as a region. Now if you scroll down, you can see functional area retail operations has openings as positions in USA, UK and Asia Pacific, whereas warehousing just has opening in USA. So you can summarize based on functional area as well as region. Now I'm going to add a few more fields from the fields pane, like the hiring manager and the status. Now I want to further filter this report based on a particular status like open. I just want the report with positions that are open. So I'm going to filter this report based on a particular status. So I click on add filter. This is a field filter which filters based on a particular field. Now I'm going to filter based on status. So select status equals, this is a lookup, and these are list of statuses out of which I want new position, open, approved and close filled. Select insert selected and click on OK. Now we can see we have a grand total of 19 records with the filter like status equals new position, open, approved, close filled. So it further filters my requirement and gives me a more concise view of data. Now we know summary reports can be used to create charts. So let's add a chart, and we have different chart types, and under which I'm going to select a pie chart. And I'm going to create wedges based on a functional area. Now under formatting, let's give this a name, open positions by functional area. That's it. Okay. So this is my chart along with my summarized report. So let's save this. Let's give this a name. Let's name it as open position by functional area, and I'm going to save it under recruiting report and click on save. So that's my report. Similarly, I've created a metrics report on the report type positions to find out the average days to hire with or without travel. Row wise as well as column wise grouping is possible in matrix report. We have also created a chart, a vertical bar chart for the representation of the matrix report. To work with data on our reports, we can add formulas from the field pane to make the data more concise and precise. We can also add different types of filters like field filter, filter logic and cross filters to make our report more concise and specific to our needs. Moving on to custom reports. Custom reports are used to create reports for objects that aren't related to each other particularly. It's used to create more unique and granular reports. Now we know positions and job applications are related. Job applications and reviews are related, but positions and reviews aren't related. To relate positions and reviews, we can create a custom report and find out the positions with reviewed job applications. Now let's move on to creating a custom report. So from the setup page, under build, under create, select report types. We have an introductory splash, click on continue and select new custom report type. Here I'm going to create a custom report for positions with reviewed job applications. So my primary object is position. So select positions and I give it a label. I name it as positions with reviewed job applications. Give it a description. Gives positions with reviewed job applications, and I select a category to store this. Select other reports and click on deployed. Select next. Now I'm going to define my report record set. I've given my primary object as positions. Now I'm going to relate job applications to positions, and then I'm going to relate reviews to job applications, because what I want is a reviewed job applications for a particular position. Now I click on save. You can see the object relationship here. It shows positions with at least one related record from job applications, and that is in relation with reviews, and it gives with at least a related record from that also. So thereby we get positions with reviewed job applications. To see this report, I select reports and click on new reports. Under other reports, I select positions with reviewed job applications and click on create. So I get a grand total of 4 records with positions with reviewed job applications. This is how we create a custom report. So far we have seen how to create standard reports and custom reports. Now let's move on to dashboard. I'm sure you're familiar with a dashboard of a car which contains different meters, gauges and indicators, like meters like speedometer, tachometer, gauges like temperature gauge, fuel gauge and other indicators. Each meter or a gauge is an individual report. From the dashboard on the screen you can see the fuel gauge is near to empty and you have to stop by the next gas station to get your fuel tank filled. In Salesforce, Dashboard gives us an overview of all the reports that we have in our application. So let's move on to dashboards on Salesforce. In Salesforce, Dashboard shows data from source reports as visual components. Each report acts as data which is represented on different visual components like charts, gauges, tables, matrices or visual force pages. Similar to the dashboard of a car, here also the dashboard gives us a snapshot of key matrices and performance indicators. Here dashboard can have up to 20 components. Now let's see how to create a dashboard. As we have created a report folder to save the reports, let's create a dashboard folder. New dashboard folder. I'm giving it a name like recruitment dashboard, and I'm giving it an access of read only because I don't want anyone to manipulate with the dashboard. I'm making this folder accessible to all users and no one can manipulate it since I've given only the permission for read only, and click on save. We know reports are the different data sources for a dashboard, so let's create a few more reports. I have created a couple of reports in my recruitment report folder. Now let's add a new dashboard. I have components and data sources. Components are the visual representation tools used like different charts, matrices, tables, visual force pages, gauges, etc. So let's add a pie chart, and data source would be the reports, the data for this visual tool. So let's add a report. And I'm recruiting reports. Open positions by functional area, and this is how my visual component would look after adding the report. So let's add a few more visual components to make it more user-friendly and interactive. So I've added a few more visual components to make it more interactive and user-friendly. Now let's save this recruiting dashboard. Click on Save As. So I give it a name, a unique name, and click on Save. And voila, my recruiting dashboard gets saved. So this is it about creating a dashboard. Now let's make it visible to the users. If you see, go to the setup and click on home, you wouldn't see a dashboard. So let's make it visible. To make it visible, select setup link. Under customize, select home. The home, select home page layouts, and you can see a DE default. Click edit next to it and check the checkbox next to dashboard snapshot and click on next and move the snapshot towards the top and click on save. Now if you see your home page, voila, you have a dashboard. So that's all about reports and dashboards. Hope you had a wonderful experience creating reports and dashboards on Salesforce. Thank you.